Does anybody have any business?
I know the person who's using the room after us, and since we only have one speech, if we were able to get out for 5 minutes, would that be good?
We can shoot for that.
Okay.
Anybody else? Well, I guess I will. Oh, I do have something. I just sent it to John today, so he'll probably send it out to you later. The tally's coming up again in the spring, and they're looking for speakers for certain parts of it. So if anybody's interested, or think of another club member that may be interested, let them know. But that email will be coming out probably today. That's it. Without further ado, let's call up our Toastmaster for the day, Sarah Dahl.
An earthquake.
You might want to hold on.
Can I make copies of this?
Well, it's kind of, it has mats on.
That's okay, it'll help us. Shall we go shades back?
Sure.
It's real quick. In the holiday theme, and that's the theme for the invocation today. We're on the eve of our, arguably the world's most important holiday. And when we leave today, we need to be thankful for what we have, be gracious, and extend warm greetings to everyone we meet.
I don't have the agenda, so who's doing word of the day? Awesome.
The word of the day is kerfuffle. Has anyone heard of it? Just show of hands. It turns out to be one of the most popular words when I did not hear of it. So the meaning of kerfuffle is it's a commotion or a fuss, especially one caused by conflicting views. So an example of the word in a sentence would be, there was a kerfuffle over the chairmanship. So I'll write that on here. And let's hope your holidays are not a kerfuffle. Here we are. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just going to pause for Sheila before I introduce Matt as our first speaker. Did everyone have a great Thanksgiving? Shopping? Anyone do something after Thanksgiving shopping? Online?
No. Actually, we live on America.
How was that?
Actually, my wife did most shopping. I took my daughter to the amusement park.
Oh, nice.
So it wasn't too bad.
Oh,
Not as crowded. We got like a parking spot, like right in front of the entrance. It's kind of amazing.
they actually have parking spot status on the news now. Yeah, tune into the news and they'll tell you 60% of the parking lot is full.
I find that MOA is so large that you never really feel that crowded. We used to go after Thanksgiving also, just because it never felt, super crowded. Yeah.
I did see a thing on the news last night, maybe 2 nights ago, where one of the rides has been there since the beginning, and Used to look like a
Stupid printer with. Sorry, Tom.
No, but it was the thing that would like all the
Is
people would
it-
sit in and it would spin them around, but they dismantled it. They took it out.
Oh,
It's not
oh,
anymore.
Sheila, I'm curious, are these different printers?
I could find one on the other side of the world, and it was weird, and some big huge job was printing off, and it was super duper slow.
I apologize that I
Shouldn't have been that hard.
what a kerfuffle. Okay, I am going to introduce our first and only speaker today, which is Matt. The holiday season has always been a very special time for Matt. He's a design engineer here at Medtronic. Aside from the presents, family visits, and many other exciting experiences associated with the holiday season, Matt also had his first big engineering breakthrough around the holiday season. At the ripe old age of 5, he outsmarted his parents and figured out that there was no Santa Claus. I'm not supposed to admit that. Back before the grown-ups knew that he was onto them, they told him a story about how a young man met Santa Claus for the first time on December 24th. This is a story he would like to share with you today. Let's welcome Matt. Sounds like Santa. Can't wait.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mom in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon of the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, as he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, now Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, on Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the walls. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. And then in a twinkling, I heard on the roof, was the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur, from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all covered in ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. A stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work. He filled all the stockings and turned with a jerk, and laying a finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team, gave a whistle, and away they all flew, like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, as he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Madam Toastmaster.
I actually forgot to mention that this is speech number 4 in the entertaining speaker. And the objective was resources for entertainment. Had Deb bring the cards, just in case. Does somebody want to volunteer to be the master? Okay.
Really?
Okay, well, Tom announced we have to end early.
If we can end like 5 minutes early, but we're, yeah.
That should be
Kerfuffle.
Unless the next meeting is unrelated, then there might be a problem.
Yeah, we can go noisy kerfuffle and all. We could kerfuffle out.
Take this kerfuffle outside. Keep track of all these?
Kerfuffle.
It's gonna be a record.
All right, let's go ahead and call Maggie up, our table topics master.
Today's table topics are going to be created by this set of cards, and I suppose what I'll do is just call on someone who does not have a duty, and we'll kind of go as long as we need to. So, but first I'll ask for a volunteer. Does anybody want to give their try at an extemporaneous speech? So I'll just close my eyes and Sheila.
I was going to volunteer anyway.
How completely right.
Would you like me to choose one, or would you like to pick one from this deck? All right.
Nice. The question is, are you an early bird or a night owl, and what do you enjoy doing during that golden time? Any of you know me at all? I love the salsa dance. Salsa dancing happens at night, and it just so happens that I'm a super, super extreme night owl. I have been since I was little. Kind of runs in my family, where night owls are more of a morning people. So that kind of fits in with my passion to dance. So I go out dancing about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, get home about 2 or so, and not sleeping because my baby wakes up in the morning. But also my baby has inherited the night owl, and she does not like to go to bed either, and he does not like to get up in the morning. But that doesn't really mesh with what we have to do in real life for our schedules. So it's something that we struggle with often. But I am a night owl, and in my time that I like to go salsa dancing.
You're not being So when you go dancing, can we call that a kershuffle?
What are you saying about her dancing skills?
What are you saying?
Do we have a volunteer next?
John wants to go.
I'll go one song and then we don't have choose one, would you like to select one?
Okay.
Okay.
I have to pick one, I want to say relationship with with the family, with the work, with the friends, with the worker. Because that's, to me, once you have that, you can overcome any obstacles you might have in the other two areas, health and career. With a good relationship, with good networking, you can always, you probably not say probably always help with the career. Also with good relationship with the family, can always go through hard times together. But I rarely see one person without any relationship come to all of this. So I would say I work harder on the relationship. I would prioritize, put that top of the list. That you have to choose from those three.
I think maybe time for one more, perhaps. Any volunteers? Alan.
Why did you point at me, Darren? Were you raising your hand?
Maybe Alan can pick the fourth person. I really think you were in.
Would you like me to skip?
Yes, please choose one for me.
Very smart that I will choose for you. What's the best way to deal with stress?
I see. Topic. When you come to Toastmasters, I think everyone should have a chance to stand up here and speak, so I volunteered, and then I get a question like this. Well, I think that all of us have some stress because we all work here in the same company, and I know that, well, Jim, I guess you only come and see us once a week, and you see what we look like. Always stressed out. I think that stress management is a very important part of life, and I face stress all the time. I don't know that I'm more of an expert than anyone else on how to handle stress, but I think that one change that I've made over the last year is that I've definitely drawn a line between work and free time. How many of you have a smartphone? How many of you get your work email on your smartphone? Oh, yeah, I know how it is. Even last night, I woke up a couple times and checked my phone, see if there's anything going on. And especially with me, sometimes I do find something because I work with Asia and people are awake and sending emails. That causes me a lot of stress, and last night I thought twice about it before checking my phone because I've really been working on separating work and free time. I see most of you at least don't take email with you everywhere. That's an important first step. I think another thing is to leave your computer at work. How many of you take your computer home every single day? Yeah? Yeah, so do I. Sometimes I feel strange if I don't have that bag over my shoulder. And then I stop at the grocery store and I want it to be stolen. I'm calling that thing around everywhere I go. Sometimes I got my lunch bag in my hand too. I just forget I'm carrying everything around with me. But I think that definitely the first important thing to do is not think about work when it is your own free time. And you should draw that line, whether it's 5 o'clock p.m. or 6 or 7, you decide. But after that point, make it your time. That's the right time.
Work-life balance. Would you like to choose the next? Do we have? Yes or no?
I think we could do one more.
Okay. Would you like to choose the next person to come up and?
Oh, who would like to speak? Oh, I will. Okay, Darren.
Darren's voice is higher than ours.
Thank you for volunteering.
Why don't you start out?
What's your favorite joke?
My favorite joke.
Many call me a jokester, but when I actually think about actual jokes, I realize that I don't actually tell any. I try to turn every situation into a joke. And so I'm really struggling with that question. Let's see if I can come up with one. There was one that was told at our, oddly enough, at our church service not too long ago. That was about a burglar that was breaking in to an old lady's house, and the old lady yelled, "Acts 238." And eventually, she said this enough times that the criminal just gave up and ran away. Well, he was pursued by the police, caught, and taken down to the police station, and they kept, as he was being interrogated, they were asking him, how is it that you were breaking into this old lady's house and she was unarmed, but yet you seem to run from the scene? And he said, the woman said that she had an axe and 238s. That's a joke. Oh, and actually, Acts 238 is the actual. Something about repent and so.
Thank you, Maggie. Okay, I would like to call up the general evaluator. One's on. Oh, sorry, Eden.
Today's team, we have John as the evaluating one. So John will be evaluating Matt's speech, and we have Deborah as art answer, and Maggie. No, sorry, Darren as timer. So first, I'd like to call up John and Matt. John, can you evaluate Matt's speech?
Another very entertaining speech that Matt is giving out of his Advanced Communicator Manual. Today, the objectives for Matt's speech, I'll just tell you real quick, were to draw entertaining material from sources other than your own personal experience and adapt the material to suit your topic, your own personality, and your audience. I thought your speech was extremely entertaining. Part of the evaluation here was to see if the audience was entertained. I think everybody was laughing and had smiles on their faces. You definitely achieved the goal of entertaining the audience. I thought that your use of body movements and facial expressions was great. When you pointed to your smile on your face and running over to the window, and you did this roll, you had a lot of enthusiasm, and I thought that really, really played into the high points of the speech really well. I thought you asked me to evaluate your pace, and I thought it was still a touch fast, because when I envisioned this poem being read, I envisioned kind of someone sit down by the fireplace in a nice relaxing atmosphere.
Yeah. I
know that to a tendency to be faster, so we would probably can just take it down even another notch. And what it probably could have played into your enthusiasm a little more, especially when you were running to the window. If you were real nice and calm at first, and then just kind of got that variety between the two, between the excitement and the anticipation, and kind of get that feeling going, would have played into the speech as well. That one very small thing, I wasn't sure what your speech was, and I thought maybe like part of the introduction, if you would have told us that you were doing a poem for us, because I thought maybe you were going to start with the first few lines of the speech, and then or that poem, and then go into a speech. I wasn't really sure, so I was like, this is going on. I mean, it was still a great speech. I just wasn't sure what I was going to be listening to. So maybe if you could start off just saying that this is a poem by who wrote the poem.
Clement Seymour.
Wow. Very good. So that made it helpful, just because I felt myself kind of figuring out if there was going to be something else after what you were saying. I thought it was great that you had memorized the poem completely. Is that something you had known for a while, or you did recently?
I had to memorize it in 3rd grade.
Okay.
And so it kind of is stuck
Yeah.
with me.
Well, I mean, it was. It was flawless. It was great. I mean, it's a long poem, and you had no double clutches, which was great. And I thought that you didn't miss a beat at all. That it just flowed perfect. So I think that, speaking of that, you actually had good pauses between the lines and between the is it called the poem? Verses. Sorry, not real good at my English skills. Yeah. So you did have very good pauses. I would think that if you had worked on bringing the pace down a little bit, those pauses would have been even more effective.
I can feel it getting away. It's just like
Yeah. And for you, I think you probably, just because you are high energy, I think you just have to really, really focus on calming things down to almost to this point where it feels like you're just kind of like running your life. Right? You're just like really, really slow. And it's always you're always gonna be speaking faster than you think.
Mm-hmm.
So the use of the hat was great. I thought that it you kind of put it on and off a few times to kind of change your character. That was added to the speech as well. I don't usually carry a Santa Claus hat with me, but maybe you had that already.
Actually, I got it from Tom's group.
Let me see if I had anything else in my notes. I really liked your body movements and your facial expressions. They went along really well with the poem, and you definitely had us entertained. So, great speech.
Actually, just want to make one response to your comments too, and that I actually tried to recite this poem at the talent show at my summer camp after 3rd grade, and I got through it in like 25 seconds. So this is a little moment of redemption for me to be able to recite from memory at a closer to reasonable pace.
You could be the lawyer at the end of the commercial, giving out the
May
clauses.
I mean, if we just need a variety in speech, if you average pace, it's way above average. You can just speed up, part of your speech just like above your average, then you slow down, so you have a contrast. But the whole thing is probably still faster than this. But I think as long as you have contrast, I mean, if it's just too hard for you to slow down to like my pace.
Actually, I did one thing I want to mention was that you had very good tonal variety when you were speaking, going between different verses. So it's a lot of good pitches. That was really good.
Great.
Thanks.
Deborah, can we have a outcome?
Sure. All right, today actually we didn't have a ton of speakers, but we have a few. Jim, just one that may have been just killing time up there, but I tried to start when you actually started. Maggie, didn't hear anything from you for word of the day. Matt, I didn't hear anything. That was kind of amazing, rolling through that so clean. Didn't hear anything from Maggie during the table topics section, or Sheila. Wanzan, I just heard one during your table topics. Alan, just one and Wanzan, during the general evaluation, I didn't really hear much. And John, a couple during your evaluation. And Darren, during yours, just a couple That's it.
Is that right? Derek, can you give us a timer?
Yes, we have Jim with the invocation at 27 seconds. Maggie with the word of the day at 54 seconds. Matt with his speech, 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So compared to when you gave it as 4th grade or whatever this was.
Yeah.
You were at snail's pace today.
Snail's pace. Sheila, 1 minute 4 seconds for table topics. Wanzan, 1 minute 24 seconds. Alan was 2 minutes and 29 seconds. And then I, apparently 1 minute and 15 seconds. And then John's evaluation was 4 minutes and 7 seconds.
Great, thanks, Derek.
Are you ready to return it back?
Yeah, I suppose just say something about general evaluating the meeting. I think
Sure.
meeting's just going great, so that's all I have.
would you like to give an overview of table topics and then we can vote for it? Do we have?
Here's our trophy.
Oh, good. That wasn't right.
No, that wasn't.
You forgot the trophy?
It's always John's job.
That's fine.
Always. Okay. So we had Sheila, who did, are you a morning person, a night owl, and what do you do during your time? And salsa dancing and audience night owl. Wanzan, what is more important, relationships, career, or health, I think it was, right? And Wanzan said relationships because it affects all of these things, so let's start there. Alan was asked, how would you deal with stress? And he said, leave work at work and keep your personal life separate. Try to leave your computer at work when you can, and don't carry your emails around with you on your phone. And Darren, you were asked what's your favorite joke, and you told us a joke from your church about the burglar in Acts 2:38.
All right. So go ahead and put your heads down and we'll take a vote. And our winner for today, although it was close, because everyone was staring.
How about an acceptance speech?
I'd like to thank the Academy.
5 to 7 minutes.
You should thank your pastor.
Oh. And thank the other people here who voted for you, because I didn't. No, I'm just kidding.
So you're one of those that vote for yourself.
No, I just thought that I would tell a joke too.
Okay, I am going to turn the meeting back over to Sheila or John. What is it like?
We're tag teaming.
President,
Tag
Vice President, Mr. President.
You call him president, isn't it?
It's power struggle.
But area governor, queen of the universe,
Yeah.
is higher than president.
Yes.
So,
Anything Queen of the Universe is higher than president.
We're all just humbled to be in the presence of Sheila. She would join us and grace us with her presence and wisdom.
we got half an hour.
I actually, I did send out an email earlier this week about the District 6 holiday potluck. Don't know much more about it. I don't forget the day off, Sheila, if you remember any of the specifics. But you can feel free to ask myself or Sheila if you have any questions.
For everybody.
Yeah, everyone's invited.
Are there any speeches in it?
Probably.
I think it's hard to have a Toastmasters meeting without someone speaking. We're going to be meeting as officers here pretty shortly and talking about our end of the year party where we do typically a potluck and a white elephant gift exchange. So should be hearing more about that very shortly. Should be in the next couple weeks or a few weeks. Besides that, I don't have any other announcements out. If anyone else has anything to share.
I talked about that during Kelly in the beginning.
Okay. Where you spoke about that?
Yeah, so I told them I forwarded you the information, so you'll be forwarding that out probably today or tomorrow.
Yep. So do you know what the date is on that by chance?
I don't even know if they know, they're just asking for speakers,
Okay.
volunteers.
Okay, so look in your inbox for something about the next Kelly. It's something they do 2 times a year. It's the Toastmasters Education Leadership Institute. A lot of us went there last year, and it was the first time I went. It was very informative, very educational, and it's something. I think it's like $5 or $10, but we can reimburse that through our group if anyone wants to go.
So the potluck is December 3rd, that's the Saturday, from 5 to 9. In Sable Hall. And friends and family.
Did you have something?
Maybe did not report on word usage.
Oh.
Oh, okay. The word kerfuffle was used numerous times today. I actually lost count after 7. form of kerfuffle that showed up too.
So I think we can record that. I believe that actually is a record for our group as far as where the day goes. We'll definitely put that down in our annuals. Keep that. Maybe next week we can break that record. So if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and wrap up early and let the people that have the room after us have the room, and we'll have a good rest of the week.